Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I want to talk about the ones who live, and I actually want to talk about a deleted scene that we actually know has now happened here, and it's between Rick and Okafor. And honestly, I don't really understand the point in cutting this scene, but yeah, I have some thoughts on this because I don't really understand the reason for cutting it. But yeah, anyways, before we go any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I just posted a video for members, so if you are a member of the channel, first of all, thank you so much for all the support. I just posted the video today, or I guess yesterday, and yeah, next week's, or not next week, but next month's vlog is going to be mixed with some like vlog footage and stuff like that. I'm just gonna sort of combine everything kind of together, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I want to start kind of doing some new things like that. So yeah, just stay tuned for that. And again, thank you guys all for all the support, for everyone who's a member of the channel. Now to talk about this actual scene here that we do see. So first of all, we know this is a deleted scene here, and I got this here from at Andy Young Makeup on Instagram. It looks like the account actually used to, I'm assuming, do makeup and stuff like that for the show, which is actually kind of insane. And yeah, we have a lot of really cool shots here, and these are obviously like behind the scenes shots and stuff like that of like, you know, what it was actually going to look like when they were filming. And I really, honestly, I still can't believe we never actually got this here. And a lot of footage like this is some of the stuff that we wanted, right? Like just seeing Rick in a hospital bed, you know, seeing how he first arrived at the CRM, and that's not exactly what this shot is here, but seeing stuff like that, you know, that's what we wanted from this series. And I think that's why this series being only 6 episodes was just such a big issue. You know, if it was 10 episodes, then I think people would be very, very happy about that, because then you can sort of explore the CRM arc a lot more, give more of a story to Beale, get more into some of the backstory stuff here, and just tell a more complete story. But we ended up getting 6 episodes, and again, those first 5 episodes were fine. But that last episode really just, it really wasn't. It was honestly like, it's not that great of an episode overall. They rushed everything way too fast. And, you know, just looking back at the 6 episodes now, it's like, man, they really could have went in depth way more. And that's the thing. The Walking Dead usually does go a lot more in depth with their stories here, but it's like with this one show, they just never did, which is just so weird. And seeing a deleted scene like this, it's just, you know, it makes you want to see that. Like, it makes you want to actually see a lot more of these scenes here, a lot more of the, you know, the story here behind what's going on. And I think that's why a lot of people like episode 1 the most now, because it's just one of those episodes that there was so much possibility ahead, but it was, you know, it was more just the CRM story and what Rick was doing and just all of that. Like, it was just the perfect, like, honestly, perfect Walking Dead story. And then I just think that things did get very good over the next couple of episodes, but I just think that last episode, they kind of ruined it there. But, well, it doesn't ruin the series, but it just kind of ruins, I mean, it ruins it a little bit, but not really. Kind of hard to explain, but yeah. Anyways, in this shot here, what's actually happening here is this is Rick Grimes in the hospital after he loses his hand. So everything probably would have played out the same, basically, you know, as we saw in the episode, where we do see him cut off his hand eventually. And then, you know, after that, I believe the opening credits basically plays, but I think that the next shot is him just waking up in his room. You know, some time has passed, and then we see him sort of, or his arm's bandaged now, and he's in his room and all that. So I personally think the hospital thing would have been a lot better. And I don't know the context of the scene here. I mean, first of all, very, very cool to just think of, like, you know, what's actually happening here in the scene, because apparently this beard on Andrew Lincoln is actually fake, which I kind of find hilarious, but I guess it's just because, obviously, you know, in terms of filming and stuff, I think there'll be a scene where, you know, you have to shave your beard and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden you have to go back and film a scene later on where you kind of need a little bit of your beard, but then the next scene you don't need it. But you know what I mean? So you can't really grow a beard that fast. And so I think that's why they just, you know, they have, you know, the ability to actually create fake beards, which is kind of crazy, because to me, this just looks absolutely like real. And Rick looks like he's just like very much out of it. If you're just kind of looking at this shot here, his eyes are just kind of whatever. So he's probably just like in and out of it. You know, he's waking up here and there. And yeah, Okafor, obviously, he goes and speaks with Rick Grimes here. And then we get this shot here where he's sort of, I guess, looking out the window, or maybe he's looking at like a poster or some sort of sign on the wall or something, and maybe there's something of significance here, but it looks like he's kind of wondering, you know, I guess what's next, sort of thing, or like what he should do about Rick, right? Because he's the reason why Rick's alive, and this is one of Rick's last like escape attempts here, right, where he actually tries to get away. And so it's interesting to see Okafor here just kind of like, you know, at this point here, I wonder if he's just like thinking like, wow, he's actually very strong. And, you know, I do want to keep him around, or maybe he's concerned or worried about the CRM because, you know, they're going to want to try to get rid of him now. And now he has to come up with some sort of excuse to keep him around, right? But just the shots in general are very, very cool. Like, it's, again, I don't know why they cut a lot of stuff like this. To me, it's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense because a lot of fans want to see stuff like this, right? Like, I get cutting some stuff out where, you know, in terms of the story, it doesn't make a lot of sense because maybe it kind of mixes up certain things. And then, you know, like, I don't know, like there's usually reasons like that. To me, if anything, maybe this is more of a runtime issue. Like, that's the thing with most episodes and with most shows, there's going to be a lot of footage that you just sort of cut, right? Obviously, us as fans, we're going to want to see all of it. But if you go back over the last however many seasons of The Walking Dead, you go to, you know, all the spinoffs and all that, there's a lot of deleted scenes that obviously we've just never ever seen. And the reason for cutting it was maybe that, you know, just the flow of the episode was a little bit too much. Just kind of want to, you know, pick things up a little bit, make it a bit faster. Maybe the episode's getting a little bit too long because they do need to stick within a certain amount of runtime, right? And that's also another criticism I would say of The Ones Who Live is that every episode wasn't that long, you know, especially the finale. Like the premiere episode was like 70 something minutes or something like that, 60, 70 minutes. And then the finale is like 40 something minutes. You know, that definitely is kind of disappointing. But from what I've been seeing in terms of the criticisms on the finale, and we'll talk about that probably in a future video, is, you know, I think it was the budget. I've been seeing some people talk about this online, and I don't know if it's actually true. So I should say that I have to actually go look it up and see if it is true. But I've seen that people have been talking about the fact that Denai Guerrera said that they actually ran out of money or something like that, you know, by the finale. So I wonder if that was sort of a part of it, right? Like, I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's true at all, but I wonder if that was a part of it, is like, you know, in terms of the budget for the show, by the time they got to the finale, because of all of the explosive effects and everything that they had in that finale, they just ran out of money to really, you know, continue the story and do certain things that they wanted to do. Because if you really look at, you know, all 6 episodes and you just try to think, like, where did the budget go for those 6 episodes? I think it really all went to the premiere. You know, the premiere, like, you can really see it, right? Like, the premiere really does have such a movie feel to it. And the rest of the series does as well, but you can tell that, you know, because they had to go back to the woods and, you know, one episode was just like in an apartment and all of that. Like, you can tell that it was for budget reasons, right? And I believe Gimple actually talked about that. You know, he went into the fact that, you know, as a showrunner or producer, you know, that was one of the things that Denai Guerrera and Andrew Lincoln actually saw, was that, you know, this is why we need to have like these bottle episodes, and this is why we need to like have an episode of them just like, you know, in an apartment, or an episode of, you know, them just like in the woods or something like that, because the budget for a lot of this here is a lot. And, you know, if you have some of those episodes, you can sort of save, you know, I guess on some of the finance stuff for that on those episodes, and you know, put more money into some of the bigger ones like the premiere or like the finales and stuff. I do think that just based off of all this though, the finale, it just kind of, you know, obviously I think it was more of a story thing, to be honest. I think in terms of the visual effects and everything that we saw, that was fine, but I think that I just think it needed more. It definitely did. And again, this is the first deleted scene that we're seeing here, right? Like this one shot here of Rick. I wonder if there's going to be more that comes out. You know, whenever the Blu-ray comes out for this, I'm definitely going to get it. I'm guessing there's going to be a bunch of actual deleted scenes. And again, this is only like, these are just photos of this, right? Like, we don't actually have the scene yet. So it's going to be really interesting to see when we do actually see the deleted scene here and what actually like all this is about here. So I'm very, very excited about this. You know, again, it's definitely disappointing that we never saw this. I've always wanted to see Rick arrive at the CRM. I've just always wanted to see that. You know, I just think that it was really important for us to kind of, I don't know, I just wanted to see that scene. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of fans did. Him wearing like that beige shirt or whatever, and he's basically just in the hospital. You know, Jadis would have that same outfit on with like the longer hair. And they all just get there, and then like just what that initial, you know, just arriving there would mean. And yeah, I feel like right now it's sort of irrelevant to ever go back to that, right? I mean, the CRM still is a thing. You know, if there's going to be a season 2 at some point, or a new series, I mean, there's going to be like a new story with Rick and Michonne at some point. I just don't know if it's going to be a season 2 or a new series. Regardless, you know, the CRM will play a role, yeah, but are they going to be villains? No, not really. And I just think the context, you know, of this scene of showing Rick arriving to the Pacific Republic military for the first time just doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I don't think we're ever really going to see that scene, especially because Jadis is dead now, right? So there's like no point in really going back and sort of explaining all of that. There's just really, at this point, no point, right? So, but yeah, incredible scene here. Honestly, I definitely was really excited to see this, and I think that that's going to be kind of the cool thing throughout the next like couple of months is we're going to get a lot of scenes like this. So this will be kind of fun to actually talk about, break down, and I really can't wait for the Blu-ray to come out. I don't know if we actually have an actual like release date on that or if they've talked about it at all. I don't think they did. I really don't think they did, but it's, yeah, I also didn't look it up or anything as well. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm definitely very, very excited about all this here. So anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Definitely make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.